Our second patient today is a young 16-year-old who has developed acne in the last year or so. Her sister has a history of polycystic ovaries. However, we haven't yet tested her because she has very classical grade 2 acne. In fact, she's at the moment a lot better, and this is because she's already done 2 peels of glycolic acid, and the inflammatory lesions have subsided. You can see a little bit of erythema, post-inflammatory erythema over here, which also will go with subsequent peels. So glycolic acid peels are really good not only for controlling outbreaks of inflammatory acne, but it also has a very good effect in preventing scarring from such lesions. So these post-inflammatory erythematous scars respond extremely well to glycolic acid, which is why we're continuing to do glycolic acid peels in her, and we plan to do 2 more. However, she has a very sensitive skin. She is not very product tolerant. Also, she does say that after a peel, she tends to have a couple of inflammatory breakouts within the first 5 days. Now, this can happen in those patients who have these kind of lesions which are centered around a comedone. So, when they have, in fact, a comedone count has gone down hugely, but she still has a few comedones here, and this can be an inflammatory reaction that happens with the peel. Therefore, since we today have a very wide range of peels with a wide range of pH and a wide range of the preparations from lotions to gels, you could choose a peel with a higher pH, and you could also choose a peel which is gel based in your more sensitive skin patients. In her, I prefer to still use a pH which is lower, of this peel being 0.5, and which is a lotion, because at the moment I am more keen on controlling her active acne. At present, my intention is to control the inflammatory breakouts as well as the post-inflammatory erythema, and once I have got that well under control, then I may use higher pH peeling products. Maybe they could be gel based for a finishing effect to her skin. She is under medical treatment for her acne as well currently while her peels are going on. Since she has a sensitive skin, I would not cleanse her face with pre-peeling agents such as spirit, acetone and spirit again as we did in the first case. I would rather use a gentler pre-cleansing agent which has a pH of 5 and which contains 5% glycolic acid, which would then work as a very good preparation for the peel. It will also degrease, and it will also create a neutral pH on the skin, so that when I apply my peeling agent of 0.5 pH, it will not react and it will balance out very well. So first we are going to protect the areas. You could also use Vaseline or petroleum jelly as an option. Okay. Once we have protected the lateral canthus, the ala nasi, the angles of the mouth with petroleum jelly, now we will proceed to cleanse the area with the pre-cleansing agent which has a pH of 5, which you spray onto the cotton ball and enough just to moisten it, and with gentle strokes apply it all over the face, sparing the protected areas. Including the nose. Is it burning? It should not burn because it's a pH of 5, it should not burn. Now let this agent dry up. It does so within 2 minutes. In the meantime, we can take the peel lotion. Can I hold the bowl for you, please? Take 1 ml, that is about 12 to 15 drops. 12, that's good. She has a very small face, so I think 12 drops should be enough. In a larger area, you can use up to 15 drops. You can always take more and apply, but 1 ml is usually enough to cover an entire face. Let us show you now the earbud technique, where 2 earbuds will be dipped in the solution just to moisten it. Just stroke it so you take off any excess fluid. We're now going to apply the peel lotion. It will sting a little bit. You've done peels before. This may sting a little bit. We will now start the timer to 2 minutes. So the timer is ready at 2 minutes and we start. You may need to dip your earbuds in the lotion again. The trick when using the earbud is that you need to hold them very close to each other. Remember, it covers a very soft, small surface area, so you have to move rather fast. And the other important thing to remember is don't press it too hard against the skin, as you may unnecessarily either put more concentration of the peel or you may give undue pressure or excoriate a lesion if there's an active inflammatory lesion. So once you evenly apply it all over, you can even put a bit on the upper lip. You time it. Start looking out for any hot spots. Are you feeling a lot of burning? Lots?
No, lots.
Just slightly?
Yeah.
Tingly?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it burning in any place particularly more? Let me know. Okay. So watch your patient like a hawk. Look out for any erythema. Ask them if it's burning anywhere. Look out. You should never allow any area to develop a hot spot where the skin turns white. And remember, frosting is not desired in a glycolic peel. It suggests epidermolysis. 2 minutes over? 2 minutes are now over. So we'll proceed to neutralize. We're now going to neutralize the peel. You'll feel a warm sensation. Let's start exactly how we did last time. Can you see the frothing this time? Close your eyes, please. Feeling warm? So the warmth is a good sign. She has turned red. Erythema has developed, a bit of erythema here. Are you feeling a lot of burning on the forehead?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you put some more here, please? Neutralize this a little more. Okay. And then we will proceed with the ice cold water compress, which will also help to wash away the excess peel which has been now neutralized. So we now take the gauze as we did earlier in the earlier patient, open it up. It has cutouts for the eyes, the nose and the mouth, and we place it over the patient's face. I'm going to place a piece of gauze. This also helps for claustrophobic patients to have cutouts, but if your patient is very claustrophobic, then you may not want to use this, but otherwise most patients are quite happy because it's very light and thin. And now we squeeze you'll have to. Can I have the bowl, please? Yeah. So it's best if 2 people do it, but if you don't have help, you can do it also yourself. A little water dribbling is fine in this case. You feeling cool now? Feeling better? Let's concentrate on our forehead more. Patient gets instant relief, hydration, neutralization, all of which makes the experience more pleasant, and it also helps to improve the safety profile of your peel. We now discard this gauze. We take tissues, dry the face, you can even use a napkin. I prefer tissues because it's non-abrasive. How do you feel? Better? Any burning anywhere? Now you can see once again the patient has turned slightly erythematous, but otherwise there's been absolutely no extra uptake of the peeling agent and there's no hot spot at all, and the patient is comfortable at the end of the peel. We now proceed to moisturize. Take a fingertip 2 or 2 unit amount of moisturizer and apply it equally all over. Hydrate the skin. It's very important to hydrate the skin. Leave it on for a few minutes, up to 5 minutes, and then apply a good sunscreen agent. Once again, it's best you or your associate or your technician or your nurse applies the moisturizer and sunscreen themselves. This ensures that the right amount was used, evenly spread, and it will increase once again the safety of your peel procedure. After it gets absorbed, we then apply the sunscreen, again 1 to 2 fingertip unit amount. During this time, it's a good idea to start talking to your patient, reinforcing all your post-peel instructions. Tell them verbally, give them a handout. It's always handy for them to keep a handout with them at home. Pre-warn them if you thought any one area may feel sensitive, look erythematous for a day or two, or may turn a little crusted if you think that there was an overreaction. I would also, in her case, forewarn her that this lesion may spontaneously, this pustule may actually spontaneously erupt into and discharge the pus, or may dry up and become a bit scabby and crusted. This is how these inflammatory lesions usually respond after a peel, or it may just subside gently like every other lesion on the face. This way they get a little more reassured. And I would like to check with her. How was the peel? Good?
Yeah.
Good? Felt good?
Yeah.
Okay. Now this time let us know whether you got any breakouts after the peel or not. And you can come back 2 to 4 weeks from now. 3 weeks would also be good, depending on your schedule. Okay? And continue all the medical treatment that you are following, the medicines that you're taking. And once again remind them, patients need constant reminders that she can start her anti-acne topical applications 5 days from now. But she should continue to use moisturizer and sunscreen and avoid the sun. Remember to avoid the sun as you've been doing, because you've already done peels. You know that you have to avoid the sun, right?